You are tracking every single calorie. You are fighting the urge to snack 24 hours a day. You feel like you are at war with your own biology. And honestly, you are losing that war. You've seen the headlines. You've seen the transformation photos. The world is obsessed with Ozempic and Wegovy. Everyone is talking about these miracle weight loss drugs. And sure, they work. But there is a massive dark side to these injections that almost nobody is talking about. It's called Ozempic face or Ozempic body. What that really means is rapid, dangerous muscle wasting. These drugs can cause you to shed your lean, precious muscle mass right alongside the fat. And since your muscle is the primary engine of your metabolism, losing it is the fastest way to ruin your long-term health. But here is the secret the pharmaceutical companies don't put on the billboard. That drug isn't introducing something alien into your body. It is simply mimicking a hormone you already have. It is called glucagon-like peptide 1, GLP-1. Your body has the ability to produce this exact same stop-eating signal naturally. It is the internal switch that kills food noise, shuts down cravings, and regulates your blood sugar. And the best part? If you trigger it naturally, you don't lose the muscle. You keep the strength and lose the fat. In this video, we are not using needles. We are using nutritional biochemistry. I am going to show you the 9 most powerful, scientifically validated foods that trigger your body's unique GLP-1 signals across 3 distinct pathways. This is the natural Ozempic hack. Let's get into the science first. Before we look at the specific foods, we need to understand exactly what we are trying to activate. If you don't understand the mechanism, you won't stick to the diet. Deep inside your gut, specifically in the lining of your intestines, you have specialized cells called L cells. Think of these L cells as your body's satiety control tower. When you eat the right nutrients, these L cells release the hormone GLP-1. Once released, this hormone performs 2 critical miracles in your body. First, it travels to your stomach and hits the brakes. It slows down gastric emptying, which is just a fancy way of saying it keeps food in your stomach longer. This makes you feel physically full for hours after a meal. Second, and perhaps more importantly, it travels up the vagus nerve directly to the hypothalamus in your brain. This is the appetite center. GLP-1 flips a switch that tells your brain, we have enough energy, turn off the hunger. This is what silences that nagging food noise that causes you to overeat. However, the standard American diet, high in processed sugar and refined flour, completely bypasses this system. It spikes your insulin, but barely wakes up your GLP-1. That is why you can eat a massive bag of chips and be hungry an hour later. To fix this, we need to exploit the 3 pathways. We have discovered that different macronutrients trigger these L cells at different times. We are going to cover 3 specific foods for each of these pathways. By the end of this video, you will have a complete grocery list to hack your hunger hormones. Pathway 1, the protein powerhouse. Let's start with the first pathway, protein. When you eat protein, it is broken down into amino acids and peptides. These molecules interact directly with receptors in your upper gut to release a rapid burst of GLP-1. This is your first line of defense against overeating. Food number 1, whole eggs. We aren't just talking about egg whites here. We are talking about the whole egg. For years, people feared the yolk, but for GLP-1, the yolk is crucial. Research shows that a breakfast based on eggs stimulates significantly higher levels of GLP-1 compared to a bagel-based breakfast with the same calorie count. Why? It comes down to peptide sequencing. The specific proteins found in eggs are potent triggers for both GLP-1 and another satiety hormone called peptide YY. There was a landmark study that showed participants who ate eggs for breakfast consumed significantly fewer calories for the next 36 hours compared to those who ate a grain-based breakfast. The off switch stayed flipped for a day and a half. Don't just eat 1 egg. The threshold seems to be around 20 to 30 grams of protein to get the full hormonal effect. That means 3 whole eggs. If you want to keep calories lower, do 1 whole egg and 3 or 4 egg whites. But do not skip the yolk. That acts as a carrier for the nutrients. Food number 2, Greek yogurt. This is one of the most convenient GLP-1 hacks available. The magic ingredient here is calcium combined with casein protein. Greek yogurt is strained, meaning the liquid whey is removed, leaving a dense concentration of casein protein. Casein is unique because it coagulates in the stomach. It forms a gel-like substance that digests slowly. But the science goes deeper. Studies suggest a synergy between dairy calcium and protein that elevates GLP-1 levels more than protein alone. The high concentration of the amino acid leucine in dairy is also a direct secretagogue, which means it literally commands the L cells to release the hormone. You must avoid the fruit on the bottom varieties. Those are sugar bombs that will spike insulin and counteract the benefits. Go for plain, non-fat, or low-fat Greek yogurt. Add your own berries. Aim for 1 cup, which gives you about 20 grams of protein. Food number 3, whey protein powder. Sometimes you don't have time to cook. This is where strategic supplementation comes in. Whey protein is the fastest digesting protein in nature. When it hits your gut, it causes a massive, acute spike in GLP-1. It's like a flash flood of satiety. This is incredibly useful right before a meal where you know you might overeat, like a buffet or a party. Research has shown that drinking a whey protein shake 30 minutes before a meal can reduce the amount of food eaten at that meal by up to 20%. It's called a protein preload. If you want immediate hunger crushing, use whey isolate. If you want to stay full overnight and prevent midnight snacking, use casein protein, which releases slowly over 6 to 8 hours. Pathway 2. The sustained fat signal. Now we move to the second pathway, healthy fats. While protein triggers the hormonal release, fat dictates the speed of digestion. Fat is the most potent inhibitor of gastric emptying. When fat enters the small intestine, it triggers a feedback loop that tells the stomach to hold everything. This provides the duration of the signal. Food number 4, the avocado. The avocado is arguably nature's perfect GLP-1 food. It is rich in a specific type of fat called oleic acid. This is a monounsaturated fatty acid that is converted into a compound called OEA, oleoethanolamide, in the small intestine. OEA is fascinating because it doesn't just trigger GLP-1. It also activates the vagus nerve directly to signal fullness. Furthermore, avocados are unique because they also contain a massive amount of fiber. A single avocado has about 10 to 13 grams of fiber. So, you are hitting the fat pathway and the fiber pathway simultaneously. Don't fear the calories in an avocado. The satiety payoff is worth it. Adding half an avocado to your lunch salad has been shown in studies to significantly reduce the desire to eat over the next 3 to 5 hours. Food number 5, fatty fish. We know omega-3 fatty acids are good for the heart, but new research links them directly to the gut-brain axis. Chronic inflammation in the body can actually damage your L cells and make them resistant to signals. If your gut is inflamed, you can eat the right foods and still not produce enough GLP-1. This is called satiety resistance. The long-chain omega-3s found in salmon, EPA, and DHA reduce this gut inflammation. They heal the L cells, making them more sensitive and responsive to food. By eating fatty fish, you are essentially servicing your hunger control tower and making sure the machinery works. Aim for wild-caught salmon or mackerel at least twice a week. If you hate fish, a high-quality algae oil or fish oil supplement is a non-negotiable alternative. Food number 6, extra virgin olive oil. This is liquid gold for your hormones. Like avocado, this is packed with oleic acid. There was a study where participants were given aromatic olive oil to eat with a meal. The group with the olive oil showed higher circulating levels of GLP-1 and, crucially, a slower drop in blood sugar after the meal. When your blood sugar crashes an hour after eating, you get hangry. Olive oil prevents that crash. It keeps the glucose curve smooth and stable. Do not cook with your high-quality extra virgin olive oil at high heat, as it destroys the beneficial compounds. Instead, use it as a finishing oil. Pour a tablespoon over your vegetables or salad after you have cooked them. Pathway 3, the fiber hack. This is the most scientifically complex pathway and arguably the most powerful for long-term weight management. We are talking about fermentable fiber. Humans cannot digest this fiber. It passes through the stomach untouched. But when it reaches the colon, your gut microbiome goes to feast. Your gut bacteria ferment this fiber and turn it into short-chain fatty acids, specifically one called butyrate. Butyrate is a chemical signal that tells your colon L cells to produce GLP-1. This happens hours after you eat, providing a second wave of fullness. Food number 7, oats and barley. The superstar compound here is beta-glucan. This is a soluble fiber that dissolves in water to form a thick, viscous gel. Imagine the difference between water draining through a pipe versus honey draining through a pipe. Beta-glucan turns your digestion into honey. It physically slows down the movement of food. This physical expansion stretches the stomach wall, mechanically triggering satiety signals before the chemical signals even kick in. You must use steel-cut oats or rolled oats. Instant oats have been processed so much that the fiber structure is broken and they digest like sugar. Pro tip: make overnight oats. Soaking them cold increases the resistant starch content, making them even more potent. Food number 8, lentils and beans. Legumes are the kings of the second meal effect. Studies have shown that if you eat lentils for lunch, you will consume fewer calories at dinner. Why? Because the fermentation of the lentil fiber peaks about 4 to 6 hours after you eat them. Right when you would usually be getting hungry for dinner, the bacteria in your colon are producing butyrate from the lentils you ate at lunch, releasing a fresh wave of GLP-1. It is like a time-release hunger suppressant. If you aren't used to beans, start small to avoid bloating. Half a cup of lentils in a soup or salad is enough to trigger the effect. Food number 9, flax seeds and chia seeds. These are the hydration hackers. Chia seeds can absorb up to 10 to 12 times their weight in water. When you eat them, they expand in your stomach. This adds bulk and volume to your meal without adding calories. This activates stretch receptors in the stomach lining. These receptors send an immediate signal to the brain via the vagus nerve that says, capacity reached. Plus, they are pure fiber and healthy fats, hitting 2 pathways at once. Never eat dry chia seeds. They can actually cause blockages. Always hydrate them first. Mix a tablespoon into water, almond milk, or your yogurt, and let it sit for 10 minutes until it forms a gel. This gel is the magic bullet for your hunger. The force multiplier. The sequencing rule. You now have the 9 foods: eggs, yogurt, whey, avocado, salmon, olive oil, oats, lentils, and seeds. But, and this is critical, you can eat all of these foods and still fail if you make the number 1 mistake. The mistake is incorrect meal sequencing. If you sit down to a meal and eat your carbohydrates first, the breadbasket, the rice, the potatoes, you trigger a rapid glucose spike. This forces your body to release a massive amount of insulin to manage the sugar. High insulin levels can actually blunt the satiety signals and encourage fat storage. You need to follow the protein and fiber first rule. Multiple studies confirm that eating protein and vegetables 10 to 15 minutes before you eat your carbohydrates significantly increases GLP-1 levels post-meal. Think of the fiber and protein as a net. You put the net down in your gut first. Then, when the carbohydrates and sugars arrive later, they get caught in the net. They digest more slowly, the sugar spike is flattened, and the GLP-1 signal is amplified. So, eat the eggs before the toast. Eat the salmon and broccoli before the rice. Eat the salad before the pasta. Conclusion. The obsession with Ozempic proves one thing. We are all desperate to turn off the noise. We want to stop fighting our own bodies. But you don't need to outsource your appetite control to a pharmaceutical lab. Your body is already designed to do this. It has the L cells, it has the hormones, and it has the pathways. It is simply waiting for you to provide the right raw materials. By prioritizing these 9 foods, by front-loading protein, embracing healthy fats, and fueling your gut bacteria with fermentable fiber, you are teaching your body a new skill. You are moving from a state of constant craving to a state of natural metabolic calm. And you get to keep your muscle. I want you to pick just one of the pathways we discussed today, protein, fat, or fiber, and focus on maximizing that for the next 7 days. Which food from the list are you going to add to your grocery cart first? Let me know in the comments below, And don't forget to subscribe for more evidence-based nutrition hacks.